Fuck yeah. Okay. Lucy, you wed? You ready?
Nah, she's
I
still
need to fix my hair and then turn on the live and then I'm ready.
Okay.
Just fixing the part
look
on
like a
that.
damn grudge.
Since we're having some time to talk, it went bad. How bad? And we can get into details later. But tell me your opinion of the whole night, Lucy.
Lucy, we're talking to you.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, talking to me. The guy crashed and burned. He canceled on me and then blocked my phone number and unfollowed me on Instagram.
Whoa! How did he crash and burn and then blocked you?
No, like he was basically like, "Hey, because I opened with a logistical question. I was like, "Hey, so are we planning on doing a liquor store run when I get there, or should I just bring my own handle of alcohol?" Because I'm like, we're sleeping over, like it's, you know what I mean? Like I'm just asking a logistical question, you know what I mean? And he was basically like, um, after some back and forth, like long story short, he was like, "You seem like you're really into smoking every day and drinking, like smoking and drinking and really horny," and I'm like, excuse me? That's not fair. That's a really unfair question. He's like, what do you mean? And I was just like, I'm into smoking every day regardless, so that's like an irrelevant part of the question. I'm into drinking on every first date because that's just what you do on first dates. So that's an irrelevant part of the question.
What?
And then how am I supposed to know if I want to have sex or not? Like, also, I'm sleeping over your house. Like, so now if I end up wanting to, you're gonna be like, I predicted it or whatever, and it's gonna be weird. So it's like, you know what I mean? And then he ended up being like, you just seem like you really want to have sex, and I don't know if I want to. And I'm like, that's fine. I just like, and then like basically he like blocked my number because I sent something else and then it started to go green. And I'm like, did he just block my phone number? And then I went Instagram and he had unfollowed me on Instagram. And I'm like, and then I went on Tinder and he had unmatched me on Tinder.
He slut shamed you without even meeting you. Oh my gosh.
I was just like, dude, I'm driving an hour to get to your house and then I'm sleeping over.
Wait.
Yeah, I did kind of assume we were gonna have sex, like if everything was clicking, but I wasn't gonna like force you or anything. I'm not the rapist here. I'm not the man here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the one who's being scared for my safety, not you. I was just kind of gonna feel things out depending on how the night went, but like, yeah, I was definitely gonna bring alcohol and weed to a first date to loosen things up when I was gonna be meeting you for the first time and then sleeping over your house all in one go. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was definitely gonna bring things to make me feel calmer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, I was definitely gonna do that, but like, for you to literally come out and be like, you seem like you're really horny, and I'm like, dude, I was asking a logistical question about whether you needed to buy more alcohol for yourself or if I should just bring my own, so you don't have to buy more. And all of a sudden, it was like, you're horny, and I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah, have y'all
Really
talked about sex up to that point? Have you talked about like sexted and stuff?
Tiny, very light bit, in the sense that he was like, I'm a sapiosexual. Like, in the sense that he was very much like, I don't need sex all the time, and I was like, cool. Like, I don't.
What the fuck is a sapiosexual?
Someone who's like very turned on by like intelligence kind of thing. It's one of those like micro labels. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not used a lot. Yeah.
Right. It's one of those like micro labels where you're like, you have a real label and then you have like a micro label too if you want one.
Oh, okay. Oh, like a sub label then.
Sort of.
I was about to say, okay, that makes more sense if it's a sub label. I was about to say that can't be a whole label by itself.
If you want to like know, it's kind of like a subtype of asexuality almost.
Yeah,
where you're not turned on until you know the person and you feel intellectually turned on by them. So it's like he was kind of trying to convey that like he might not want to sleep with me on the first time we meet up. And I was like, cool. I am driving an hour and then sleeping over. But like, so like my question, this was the night before. So my question was like, are you saying you definitely like don't?
With me? Oh my gosh.
It was kind of my question. And yeah, this was the night before. And he was like, no, I was like mess around. And it was kind of like his vibe. So he was just kind of, so I was thought we were like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, fine. He just might not want to actually have sex, but I'm like, that's fine. Also, like, I'm not super like, I must fuck everyone I meet. I was actually kind of going to this thing I've been going into, like, if you guys want to know what me and my therapist have talked about, I've gone into lately, like, things with being like, I'm not going to have sex again until I'm really thinking might be more of a relationship kind of thing, because I'm not trying to up my body count anymore. Quite honestly, I'm kind of done with it. You know what I mean?
If you're done with it, you're done with it.
So I'm just like, fucking. So we had that. I thought we mutually were kind of in the same spot-ish the night before. And then the next day, he was like, you seem really horny. And I was like, he's like, nothing wrong with being honest, nothing wrong with admitting it. And I was just like, literally, this is what he said. He was like, nothing wrong with, he tried to be like, to be fair, I'm just in an off mood. I know I won't want to drink or smoke, so I think we should hold off and hang out this weekend, maybe talk for a few more days before rushing. I'm like, you were the one who really wanted to meet today. He was like, indeed. But I don't want to make you feel bad. He's like, I don't feel bad at all. I just know I'd be a bit boring today, and I don't want to be that. And I'm just like, I said some things, and then I'm like, hey, you still want to cancel? And he's like, I just think we should hold up because of my mood for a couple days.
Because of his mood?
He's been like, what's your mood today? You're in the mood to drink and smoke and then like XXX emojis. LOL, right?
For it. So yeah, I was kind of in the mood for it, but now.
And I said, well, I'm up in the air. That's kind of an unfair question, honestly. You know, and then I said what I told that to you guys. And then he said, there's no pressure in honesty. And then he started going with I'm in an off mood. And then, like, eventually got to the point where I'm like, I think we just hang when I'm more energetic. And I'm like, sure. Because of my work schedule, it's not for another week. And corona-wise, blah, 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 blah. So that might not be for a few weeks. I'm okay with that. I just want you to realize the logistics. Because sometimes men are stupid and just don't realize, like, when I'm someone who, like, very much plans, you know what I mean? So I just want him to know that, like, it's not going to be like, hey, I'll see you in 2 days. It was going to be like a thing for him to cancel these plans and for us to remake new ones. You know what I mean? I just want him to realize that. That's all. But I'm like, that's fine with that. That's fine. And he was like, sorry, I'm just kind of like not feeling the whole smoke daily vibe, etc. Like, I smoke and I just don't want to sleep with anyone right away. So then I said, cool. So yeah, then say, and this is when everything starts. And then I tried to respond, and I'll start sending his green.
Girl, I'm sorry. I
was so shocked. I was just shocked. I was just sitting there just like, finish the conversation. Like, I'm not stalking you. Like, we were having a conversation. You know what I mean?
Or at least mentioned it, right?
And mention like that, like, and be like, I think we're done here. I'm done talking to you. And then block me. Like, or just, why block me? It just made me feel like very predatory all of a sudden, like as if I was being a predator. And I was just sitting there, I'm just like, I was.
So do you know this guy, or you just like matched him on Tinder? Is that how you first encountered?
We just matched, and we were just gonna meet up because we thought we had clicked well. I thought.
Yeah, fucking guys get nervous around the time it's time to actually meet up. I know I do.
Really, that's a dude thing. But to block you and like, okay, at least set it up for another date, maybe.
That's a special type of guy thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I was so nervous of meeting up with him because he was 29 and I'm 23. And I was like, oh my God, he's older. I don't know. And then me and my friends like, no, maybe he'll be more mature. And then here we are.
Well, I guess even if you're older, you're not that mature.
Nope. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean nothing.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I actually do have a time limit for today. It's not for the show, but it is for something else.
That's okay.
Let's get this show on the road.
The thing with the brother might be
by
happening after the show. I did text him, actually, and he's kind of still up for it. So that might actually be happening today.
Hey. All right.
That's a different guy. So let me turn on the live thing. Yeah?
Go ahead. I will, when it's time for me to head out, I will join on my cell phone. I have to use my GPS, but for the most part, I'll be able to be on through my phone. It's going to be a little more janky though, but you know, I'll still be here and then I'll stay as long as I can.
All right.
Beautiful.
And just give us like a sign, like a piece, and then you can just dip. You don't have to say anything. If you want, you can.
And then I'll come back with my phone like 5-10 minutes later.
That'd be good.
Okay.
And then when I get to the place I got to be at, then I'll deuce it up.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I think the Zoom stops when I leave the app.
What do you mean?
Whenever I leave when I'm on the phone, when I leave the Zoom app, I think I don't know if it leaves the meeting or not. I hope not, but I think it does.
Okay. Well, we'll edit.
Which would be inconvenient if I just keep coming in and out.
It's like, who's this dude? But you're a welcome Yes, they'll figure it out. If not, who cares? At least we know. So, Lucy, were you able to see the topic list as well?
I was not because I was doing my makeup. Like, you mean the one you sent today?
Yeah, it's basically all the things we talked about yesterday, but a few more double standards. So the first one is double standards of men and women, and we don't have to talk about all of them, just for there for reference. Men and women, uh, gays and straights, crime and arresting, protest, and just like, the double standards on all of those. Then Smoke Break, then season 2 of Umbrella Academy.
Love it.
Have you seen Lucifer yet? Have you ever seen Lucifer?
I have seen Lucifer, but I've not seen the most recent Lucifer.
Okay, yeah.
It's the one that released Friday, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not up to date on before then either. I've only seen season 1. I've only seen season 1, basically.
Just shit, just say that.
Yeah. I want to be more cool than I am.
You're only cool when you're being real.
But apparently too horny.
Real people.
It's not.
You gotta get real.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we don't work there anymore. Did you see how many followers old farts have now? They have like nearly 2,000.
But they've stopped posting on there.
I was about to say, they don't even post, I think.
So just people want to follow an account that says it's racist, I guess. It just appeals.
Oh, shit.
Mass appeal.
All right, are you all set up?
It is going. Yeah, it is going.
All right. So starting now, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey everyone, it's me, Mel, the First Time Lord, and welcome back to Thick in Youthy.
Absolutely juicy. My name is Lucy Rydell. You can find me at Lucy Rydell on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.
Hey, I'm Dwight Smith. You can find me at IBFamousWDS with my multiple podcasts.
So, bitch, guess what you're watching? You're watching the best show on YouTube that no one knows about. Thick and Youthy, absolutely juicy. Right now, we're talking about double standards. And if you don't know what a double standard is just something that makes a specific person or set of people treated unfairly against another set of people. That's not the definition, but bitch, I'm paraphrasing. So, double standards. I feel like all of us have experienced double standards. Like for me, I'm a gay man, so double standards are my life. Now, we're going to be talking about different sets of double standards. Let's go with men and women, because obviously we have men and women on this show. Do you guys know any or experience any double standards in your life?
Good Lord, where to begin? Absolutely. For me, I feel like a lot of the double standards I face comes with being with appearances, for sure. Like, for example, how long did it take you guys to get ready for the show today?
I woke up and put on a shirt.
How long did you to get ready, Dwight?
About 3 minutes.
I have been getting ready since 10:30 a.m. It is now 12:45.
Okay. Okay.
And I still look like this. I mean, and by that I just mean like wet hair, and like my makeup is only half really done, and like I'm only dressed from like top up. Like this is not what I'd have to be camera ready for like a real thing. This is with me with no commute. This is me like this is just the woman stuff. The woman stuff.
So are you describing
2 hours to my day?
So are you describing a double standard or jealousy for how fast it takes us to get ready?
Why not both? Like I know for me, like okay, this is like a sidebar that comes back. But like for me, when I was in middle school, I remember watching an interview with Leah Michelle from Glee, and she was like, yeah, like I have so many tattoos, and they were so cool. She like showed them all off or whatever, and then she was just like, yeah, but it's just like because my character Rachel Berry on Glee, if you've seen Glee, of course, you know Rachel Berry would never have tattoos, like straight edge, you know. She's like, because Rachel Berry would never have tattoos, I have to get to set 2 hours early to get every tattoo I have covered up. And in that moment, 7th grade me was like, Lucy, you will never get a tattoo. You're never going to have to get the set 1 minute earlier to get a tattoo covered up because your character would never have a tattoo.
That's the character. That's not double standard.
But like, but here's the thing. It's just like, it circles back with the idea of like makeup, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, and I've kept that promise to myself. I still don't have any tattoos. I collect a lot of things, so I don't have any tattoos actually. I collect stickers and pins and patches because they're cute little things that I can like collect and have and like own, but they're not
People
on my
collect
body.
tattoos.
They're just not on my body. You know what I mean? But like the thing with makeup is like women, we have to like just deal with a lot more. We have to deal with a lot more when it comes to our appearances. And like it comes down to like I have a lot of people come back with that and be like, well, you wanted to. And I'm like, did I want to? Or is it so expected that you must deal with it? Like for example, there are many workplaces where women are actually expected to wear heels and makeup. And if you're not, it's unprofessional. As in, it's a part of the dress code to wear heels and makeup.
Like men have dress codes as well.
Oh, but does your dress code involve stilts and also makeup on your face?
What are stilts?
Stilts are
the heels.
Oh, okay, heels.
The heels that are actually damaging for your bone structure long term if you have to wear them every day at a workplace for, I don't know, 40 or 50 years.
No, but I have to wear an ugly tie, and I can't have my hair in an updo like the updo. And my hair can't be twisted like this, and I have to wear an ugly tie.
Well, your hair can't be twisted like that because you're black, and that's because of racism, honey. That's not double standards. That's double standards because of black and white, not because of gender.
Still a dress code.
That's true. That's true.
Double standards are so iffy. It's just like anything can be a double standard, but like what's happening now, it just depends on your mindset. Like makeup, it is a double standard. For me, if I were to wear makeup, I would be a weirdo. Like nowadays it's more accepted, but I could never wear makeup for any reason unless I'm specifically in a costume. Like I could put a blush and blah, 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 blah. But the double standard is, why is he wearing that? Now, guys, they go through a lot of different things, and it's a lot easier than women. Like, we don't, like you said, don't have to get ready that quick. But
not a double standard, right?
What are we really trying to do? The only person we got to impress is ourselves, or the person that, we're already with. But most of the times, dudes are just dudes. Dwight, what are some double standards that you've been dealt with, if anything?
You know what's one of my biggest double standards is work ethic. And I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Work ethic and it's not even just at work. It's for work. It's for dating. I feel like it's for life. What's the space, sir? It's such a double standard in dating because men have to. We choose to because we have to put in more work than women. You can't tell me a situation where, you know what, let me just stick to personal experience. Whenever I talk to women, I have to carry the conversation on my back, okay? I have to carry that situation from New York to Cincinnati. I have to carry that damn conversation. When we go on a date, first of all, I have to offer the date. You know, women never ask a man on a date. You know what they say? You know what the heck they say? Why haven't you offered to take me on a date? We haven't went on a date in forever. Then why haven't you asked me? Why, instead of complaining about it, how about you ask me on a date? Such a that's a hell of a double standard.
No, that's true. That's true. I feel like, however, you are just maybe seeing very boring women if you're the one who's to carry the conversation. Is that a possibility? Because I feel like here I am on the dating apps because with Corona, I'm not really going on very many dates. But here I am on the dating apps, right? And here I am carrying the conversation with all these boring subpar men. I'm not matching with many women, even though I am bisexual. Women, please hit me up. You're so much better than men.
New Jersey.
Like, I'm in New Jersey. I'm in northern New Jersey. Please hit me up. I'm 23 years old. I'm single. That is my pitch.
This is thinking you if you're not Tinder.
I am putting myself out there everywhere. Listen,
oh, God.
But, like, with men, like, here I am being the one to carry the conversation, to start the conversation, and they are the ones who end it and just let it die.
I can see that.
Like, I am the one who is constantly pushing, constantly being like, so what are you looking for? Oh,
I was just about to say, are you asking questions?
I'm like, yes. Oh my God, the questions.
Yeah, I guess there's. It's just some. I guess it is just some boring guys out there who don't know how to spit game at women like that. You know.
Yeah, I feel like the guys that do spit game are the ones who are just spitting game. Like, hey,
Don't even know how to talk. Yeah.
what's your Snapchat? Hey, can I send you a dick pic? But they don't ask for permission, and it's worse. It's bad. It's bad out there. It's bad out there for women. Like, I think you have to take into account that maybe it's not so much a double standard, but it just bad for everyone.
Yes. And then, like, with gay dudes, dating is so different. The double standard for gay dudes is you gotta look good all the time. Like me, I'm only 200 pounds, 5'11". So that's not fat for a woman. If I were to get with any woman, well, not any woman because it's me, but if I were to try to get at a woman, I would have a lot higher chance than trying to get at any gay dude, because the double standard for gay dudes is your body got to be ripped. You got to have 8 packs, at least 6, nothing less than 6. But, that's why in dating itself is hard. And there's a lot of dumb people who just don't know how to converse. Yeah, don't know how to converse. And it's just like, is it really like specific people, or is it just how we're taught when we're raised? Because I honestly, I've never was given any dating advice. A dating advice is just, hey, you're gay. Well, it wasn't even that. It's just, oh, I figured out I'm gay. Let me be awkward and weird until I can fully embrace my gayness. But
it's very well documented that gay individuals of any subtype of the gayness, any subtype of the gay, go through a second puberty. Like they go through, like, basically, like, there's this whole especially trans people it's very well documented. They go through a sort of second puberty, or like when after they come out, where they kind of are 12 years old again, and they kind of like, they dress like how a 12-year-old might dress, or they act like how a 12-year-old might act, or they flirt like how a 12-year-old might flirt, because they're kind of exploring and figuring it out, how like they're stunted maturity wise, because that's the point at which they started to shove everything down in like middle school. So when they come out and they're like, okay, here I am, I'm gay, I'm trans, I'm whatever I am, they go through a bit of a second puberty where they have to emotionally, even though like physically they're 45, they have to emotionally figure out, like, hey, this is how I dress now that I realize I'm gay. This is how I act now that I realize I'm gay. This is how I talk. This is like, they have to figure it all out again. And it takes them months, if not years, most likely years, to figure it all out. And that's why people say, like, if you have a trans person, this is like a helpful hint. If you have a trans person in your life, or not very used to dealing with trans people, especially someone who's newly just kind of came out as trans, like, they might dress like a little young for a while. This is like a very well documented thing. They might dress a little young for a while.
Please believe me.
Yeah, like, please. But they might dress a little young for a while. Don't say anything. Like, don't make them feel bad. They're just experimenting with their style, and like, they're just trying to figure out, like, hey, what does a girl or guy or non-binary person like dress like? And they have to figure it out for themselves without any real guidance. And this is partly because of the huge failure we have of sex ed in this country, where it just is so heteronormative. And I want to say heteronormative, but it's just boys. It's just boys. It's boys get to learn as much as they want about whatever they want.
Sex.
Like, they literally learn about wet dreams and shit. And then girls are like, hey, you're going to bleed. Move along. Boys, do you have any other questions for us?
You're going to bleed. Keep it to yourself.
Some of you have already started. Don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
Ever.
Like, by the time we get to sex ed, like, anywhere from a quarter to a third to a half, even sometimes, depending on how late it hits your grade levels, are already bleeding. It's fucking useless. And that's the only part they even talk about for girls anyway. Like, let's talk about gay sex. Let's talk about pleasure. Let's talk about coercion relationships. Let's talk about relationships. Let's talk about what makes
rewind. Pleasure. You can keep that to your damn self. Sexual education. When it comes to children in school for sexual education, pleasure, take that shit out the window. You figure out how to pleasure your own damn mate. We teach you the education side.
You have to talk about, this is like, I will pitch so hard for this. You have to talk about, because here's the thing. Here is why, like, women especially, Other genders too, but women especially are at such a fucking deficit in this country when it comes to pleasure. Like, we are literally in debt right now when it comes to like orgasms and pleasure. And here's why. It's because men are taught about pleasure. They're taught about how to orgasm. They're taught about how to make themselves happy. They're taught about how to masturbate. They're taught about wet dreams. They're taught about
what sexual ed class were you in?
Listen to what's normalized right now. Like, what is right now normalized? Men are taught how to orgasm. Men are taught whatever they need to learn. And women are not taught how to orgasm at all.
Who teaches a man how to orgasm?
They teach men how to masturbate in class.
In high school.
They talk about how to masturbate in class. They talk about, hey, like, men.
You got that, Ramel?
Yeah, in Las Vegas. They talk.
Y'all states is wild. DC schools was not about that type of life.
Like, they talk about, like, they have like question and answer sessions where they're like, hey, like, how do you like masturbate? Is that like normal? And you're like, yeah, it's normal. But never for girls. You know what I mean? Like, girls, and like, because of this, girls are at a huge like deficit in this country. And we're taught that sex is something we give up, not something we have, not something we take part in actively as a partner, as equal partners, where we get to demand pleasure as well. We are not taught that we should be enjoying sex, actually. Like, do you realize that the virginity myth is like, women are taught that your first time is supposed to hurt. It doesn't have to. Actually, for most women, it shouldn't. It really actually shouldn't. If you're having a good time, it's not supposed to. For most women, there are some medical conditions that can make your virginity hurt. It's making losing your virginity hurt. But besides for a medical condition that is diagnosable by a doctor,
that should just be.
Your first time should not hurt. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I thought it was like you bleed.
You're not supposed to hurt. You're not supposed to bleed. Oh my God! If you're
bleeding, like it breaks your hymen and stuff. This is that's
your hymen is a total another myth. You're not supposed
to hymen. That's why they call it popping the cherry. Like, what if it's too big?
These are all myths that like are completely incorrect, that they don't teach you about in sex ed. That like that would be the perfect opportunity to correct that myth. Hey,
breaking your hymen isn't a thing.
No,
because like I know like women do it when they sit on like the bicycle seat. Sometimes I heard.
Okay, for some women, it is a thing to break your hymen. But for some women, it's not. For some women, it is. For some women, you partially break your hymen. Some women actually have a medical condition where your hymen is partially intact, and you actually have to go and get that, like, solved by a doctor because you actually can't have sex with that. But, like, your hymen oftentimes doesn't break, and it's actually fine to have sex with it intact. Like, the vagina is complicated. Why do we spend so much time talking about dicks when they're easy? And the vagina is complicated.
Well, we've had two different sexual ed experiences.
Yeah.
Because
Have you talked about the structure of the vagina? Do you know what the vagina is versus the uterus? Have you?
Do I know? No. Did we talk about it in class? Yes.
Did you talk about where the clit is?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You think that? How many people in your sex ed class could right now, if they had to, like, identify female anatomy on a chart?
That's the thing about it. Like I said, do I know it? No, because I didn't retain that information. Like, oh, the eggs, the uterus, the other names. No, I don't remember. Because like you said, the vagina is very complicated, but we did have it in class, is what I was saying.
But like, this is what I mean. Like, then your sex ed didn't do a good job. Like, I can identify.
I wouldn't say it didn't. I just say I'm a shit student. I don't want to put that on them.
But like, no, but like, you have to realize you're teaching to middle schoolers who all are going to be sitting there making this a joke, who are all not going to want to pay attention.
Very
but
true.
You're realizing that you're going to teach this for them for the rest of their lives. That's your job, to deal with the shit students and realize that every single one of them is going to be a shit student on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it's your job to deal with that. Actually, that's like more than half of your job as a sex ed teacher is to handle that, actually. So really, if I gave you, I'm not saying to like identify all the words. I don't know if I can remember even all the words for all the parts of the vagina anyway off the top of my head. But if I gave you a word bank and like even like with lines like labeled, you think?
I think I could knock it out then. I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should do that then.
Like there have been many fun challenges online where like either on TikTok or YouTube or like Facebook challenges, Instagram challenges, like all the like, where like you'd be so surprised at what men will put down as the vaginal anatomy.
Actually, Lucy, with that said, you're kind of right, because I don't know if you were, I think it was you who commented on it. I saw a video of a guy who was like, a pad doesn't go on your vagina when you're having a period? And I never even thought about it. Like, of course it goes on your vagina because that's how it stops the blood. But I didn't think calmly.
Actually, clarify your sentence. Can you expand your sentence? Where do you think the pad goes?
Oh yeah, now I know. It goes on the underwear. Yes.
Yeah.
Before I saw that video, I was like, because I never had to deal with a period, I assumed you just slap that on your puss, and it just
like an instance, like one of those things, like exactly. I was like, it's in the underwear. It can't but then it's right up next to the vagina, so it can catch what's coming down, so it can catch the blood.
A diaper for your vagina just to catch that, and you just
wait. So you thought it stuck to the the whole vaginal area?
Right. A lot of men think that if it's the vagina, you slap it on there.
You are.
And you're
kidding me if men really think that. You gotta be kidding me.
Many men, Dwight. Many.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bunch, dude. Thousands,
millions.
Millions, yeah.
Millions of men over the
Don't
world.
ask me how, but I've literally seen, like I said, do not fucking ask me how, but I've seen women multiple times take the pad off their underwear. So I knew that clearly.
As a gay man, I never even tried to look. Blood, vaginas, ugh, gross.
It doesn't even make sense. How?
It's and then take it off as a Band-Aid at night or something,
Or when you have to switch it, but it's because you don't think about that stuff. But
it's here's the thing. But here's the thing: half of the population is walking around with blood coming out of them. Some of them use Diva cups, some of them use tampons, some of them use pads. Sure, but half the population of the world is walking around with blood coming out.
There's a point coming
all the time. You, as someone who does not have to deal with that, should know these things anyway. Just because the other half of the population is dealing with this. I'm not saying you, but you. You know what I mean?
You should be generally aware.
Just like how even though I don't have a penis, I know how to use a condom. I knew how to use a condom.
I would hope so.
Before I had sex, I knew how to use a condom, even though I didn't have to know how. You know why? Because half the population is walking around with penises. And pop culture taught us, hey, it's really important that everyone knows how to use a condom.
You know what I don't know how to use?
Value women.
What I don't know how to use, but I'm okay because I know a lot of women also don't know how to use them, is a female condom.
That is very simple, actually. I can explain it to you right now. So female condom, so if you want to imagine that this
it's a cylinder type thing.
This is a condom, a normal condom, right? So if you just take scissors and stick the scissor in there and then cut there, it'll unravel. Imagine that. Imagine a condom if you would just cut it that way.
Okay.
And then it would unravel. It would be kind of flat, right?
Right.
That's it. That's what a female condom is.
Oh, no, I know what one is and what it looks like.
So
how
if you were to lie it down flat on top of the vagina, then you kind of hold it in place, sort of, and deal with it.
Whoa, we're thinking of two different types of female condoms because there are actually a good amount of different types of female condoms. Right. I was thinking about the cylinder one that goes inside. You're
thinking maybe the diaphragm.
No. That's a what's his face there? That's a birth control. That's birth control. That's not what I'm thinking about.
The female condom I'm thinking of that I'm pretty sure is what people refer to when they say the words female condom is what allows you to eat out a girl safely.
That's I thought they called that what is dental dam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that is dental dam.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't think that was a condom.
I wish we could Google this right now.
I was about to say, wish. I got a phone.
Can you just insert here just a little infographic of female? Can you just insert insert an infographic of female birth control, female stuff here.
Stuff.
Female stuff here.
Okay, yeah. See, I knew I wasn't tripping. Okay.
Okay.
This is a little weird. Okay. So yes, this one right here. This one right here. This is gonna look weird from the phone, but I'll try to get it as best as possible. That is a female condom I was thinking of.
It's like a normal one with a
Right. We just put it inside instead. No,
Right.
I've seen those, but I've never actually seen them available for purchase anywhere. When I hear female condom, I almost exclusively like hear people referring to dental dams.
Yeah, as I say, that's dental dam for oral sex.
Right.
Which I highly encourage.
But like for
like, Ramel's face.
Ramel, I pray for you tonight. Tonight I will pray for you.
Only
the finest thoughts and prayers for you.
The finest thoughts and prayers.
Okay.
Only Oakland's finest.
But let's switch it up. We have been talking about double standards for men and women, but what about race? Like, men and women, they experience different things, as we just heard, but different races. We got two ethnicities here now, black and white, but like not everything's in black and white, if that makes sense. Have you guys felt any double standards for being white, for being black? I know I have. Like, as a black man, I can't go out at night without it being a little bit suspicious. Like, cause I'm usually in white neighborhoods just because of how I was raised. So naturally, being black in a white neighborhood, the double standard is, why is he here? Why should he be here? But that's just me. It might not even be a double standard, but just something I've gone through that shows there's a difference of a black guy being out at night than a white guy.
Right. So like, yeah, like a lot of the double standards for race are either stemmed from or actually are just biases of people, which led to stereotypes. So that would be most of them. Like, but like a fresh new one that happened because the coronavirus is like the face mask thing. When the face mask thing happened, it's like, you know, because of our biases, like a lot of people felt more threatened and scared of black people, even more so than usual, because they have face masks on now.
Saw the video of the two guys in Walmart getting standardly stalked by security because they had their face mask on, just trying to shop.
I heard about that a while back.
Another double standard, like if I were to wear a mask, just like to a bank or to a high profile, actually, the double standard that's been around for a long time is shopping while black. Like, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes you'll notice someone following you around, walking around, checking you out while there's other people doing the same thing. But but what can
that's actually happened to me before. Yeah, it was I was at a Target and I was with my roommate, my roommate Mal, and like he's a dark-skinned guy. And I'm like very happy-go-lucky in person. So like, you know, I was jokey around the whole time. And it was like this, it was another dark-skinned woman who was around us. And like, we seen her, and as you do with your friends, you make fun of people just randomly. Not to her, of course, but you're joking with your friends and like, you're judging people because it's fun to do that when you're by yourself. So like, I'm like, look at that auntie over there. And we just, you know, had a laugh about it. But I'm a silly guy in person. Like, you know, the things that are not, the things that people wouldn't do just randomly, I would do. Like, I'm the guy you would see in the Target dancing to the music that's on the thing. And you're like, I like the song too, but you're doing too much, guy. That's me. So I was doing that stuff that I usually do. So when we go to the checkout, I pay for my stuff because we were there for me. I pay for my stuff. And then while we're heading out, Auntie is standing at the door. It turns out she was secret security. I don't know if you all know what this is, but secret security are the people who are just dressed up like normal people and, you know, they're doing a security job. So it turns out Auntie was the reason she was around us because we did notice she was looking at us, which is part of the reason why we started making fun of her to begin with. Like, Auntie's over here looking at us and stuff. And like, yeah, I know I'm weird, so what? So we're heading to the door. Auntie's at the door, and she's like, "Excuse me, can I see your bag and your receipt?" And like, I was hella mad, and I was like,
Yeah.
What? Okay. And like I did it without any fuss, but afterwards I wish I put up a fuss because I was so upset about it. So yeah.
Something that happened, it was the most recent one for me, but it happened like maybe last year. Convenience store, 2 blocks down my house. Been there every day. Well, because it's close, it's my convenience store. I put my phone in my pocket because I was grabbing things from the thing. I put my phone in my pocket because obviously I don't need that in my hands. I get to the register and he's like, can you empty out your pockets? I saw something in there. And I'm like, this place is small, so it's like you could obviously see if I was stealing something. So the whole time, like my mood changed immediately. It was like, okay, even though you've seen me multiple times, and to me, I don't look like a person that steals, but I guess I do. And it's just another double standard. Sometimes it's not even, it's a standard that we shouldn't have to expect, but I don't know. I don't even know if it's a double standard, but it's just something that we Black people deal with. Lucy, I know it might not be the same for you, but have you dealt with any double standards, or what double standards do you deal with?
Um, as a white person, being white is nothing like that.
For a woman.
That's just racism, dude. That's just TM. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Because most of them are racism. Like the double standard is because we're Black, we got to be treated completely different. So
right.
Racism itself, a double standard? Yeah? No? Lucy, continue. Sorry.
No, absolutely. The only time to experience anything kind of like that is when I was in like fancy stores and like it was me and a group of young people and they were following us around because we were young. But even then, it's never been anything as serious. It's never been anything like that. No, absolutely not. No, but I think as far as double standards for being white, no. I think that there's maybe I think there's just been things where it's been like, oh, like I'm finally realizing for a moment what it might be like to be another race, perhaps. You know what I mean? Rather than actually being a double standard, I feel like rather, like for example, like when I'm working, right? Like it just rather putting me in someone else's shoes for a moment because I am white, I never really get to see that. I wouldn't call it double standards. I would say it's moments of enlightenment, more like. You know what I mean? So it's rather like when I've been in rooms where I'm the only white person there, like that's something that a Black person would experience all the time, where they're the only Black person in a room. But since we live in America where it's very, very white, and I live in very, very white areas of a white country, like I don't experience as many times where at least where I notice where I'm the only white person in the room, so it's like when I notice and I feel othered by that, where at least I notice that, it's interesting to be like, oh, this is probably what like my friends of color feel like all the time, or this is what my friends of color probably like used to feel like all the time before they fucking got used to it. So yeah, there's like moments like that where I like feel, where I'm able to feel empathy, but I wouldn't go so far as to say there's any even standards for being white. White is seen, wrongfully so, but white is seen as like normal, as like the basis in America. You know what I mean? Like in other countries, there's like similar problems. Like if you go to like India, they have a caste system, and that causes its own kinds of problems there. For example, but like in America, like white is seen as the basis, as normal. Like this is why we get conversations happening with like, like, oh, I want a movie where it's just a Black kid, but it's not about police brutality actually, and it's not about racism. I just want a Black kid, a coming of age story. Wouldn't that be nice? Because we get to have like white kid coming of age stories because they're considered normal. They're considered normal, the basis, the template, and then when you add Black on top of that, well, that must affect the story somehow. When sometimes, maybe they're just normal kids who fall in love with other kids, and then the movie's over.
Yeah, I always felt like that about a lot of today's media that we go into. I always felt like that because right now I'm just to plug it just because I'm creating right now a TV show actually, and it's based loosely on my life, but it's mostly a comedy. So me and some of the main characters are Black, but other than that, a lot of the side characters are open to interpretation. Like I don't understand why a lot of these movies and TV shows nowadays, it's like they specifically want and go out their way to find a white person, as if a Hispanic, Asian man, or a freaking Black man couldn't do the same freaking role.
Hey, with that being said, there's one thing that I was like, it's a white book movie genre, but it could easily be switched out to a Black person, to anybody.
What?
Percy Jackson in the Olympian series, that series made by a white guy.
Oh, Percy Jackson.
Yeah, Percy Jackson.
I heard Pussy Jackson and the Olympians.
Ooh, that's one version. But
Percy Jackson, but make it gay.
You could do so much with that. It's one of those things where the story itself is so good. No matter what color you put there, it's amazing.
Right.
Everyone, like with the TikTok that Lucy mentioned, why aren't there coming age stories like sci-fi thrillers with Black people? Like they're starting to do it more now, like Lovecraft County, P Valley, and all that shit. Empire.
But do you remember the big hubbub with the Black Stormtrooper a few years back?
Mm-hmm.
The hubbub, the hubbub.
They was just so fucking about Donald back in the day, back in like 2010, like when they were fucking so pissed because they started a petition for Donald Glover to become the next Spider-Man, like that whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Black James Bond, Idris Elba. Remember that when they wanted Idris Elba to be James Bond? They were like,
what the fuck?
It's always white.
Yeah. It's just like it's so ridiculous. And then like they would try to counter with some dumb shit like, oh, what if we made a Black movie with all white people? That's not the point, bruh.
Pretty much did that with everything. Like
can you imagine if a white director said they were only going to make movies about white people? And it's like, have you seen white directors?
You don't have exactly. They don't have to say it. They do it. Fucking Wes Anderson, the biggest fucking creep ever. Like, Black people disowned R. Kelly. A lot of Black people disowned R. Kelly after what happened. Fucking white people hold on to Wes Anderson, like, and act like he didn't raise an Asian girl and didn't marry her. Like, that fucking creep.
Are we thinking about the same person, Wes Anderson?
Am I saying the director? Oh no, sorry, Woody Allen. Was it Woody Allen? I think. Sorry, Woody Allen. I'm saying Wes Anderson. Sorry, I mean Woody Allen.
Anderson is the guy with all the colors, isn't he? He does all the fun colors, the color schemes in his movies.
It's fun. It's fun. He has all those colors, but his movie is all white people as well. So.
That's true. But lots of pastels. Lots of pastels. I shouldn't say colors. Lots of pastels.
Okay, now. It's been a fun time, as fun as double standards talking about it. But you know what? Let's smoke some bud, or whatever you like to smoke, because it's our smoke break. All right. Now, since you were the newest one to catch up on Umbrella Academy, do you want?
I have a confession. I have 5 minutes left in the final episode.
Okay.
The fuck, listen.
Actually,
why didn't you finish it?
Because I was late trying to get here. I was kind of close.
You were supposed to watch it on Friday.
I was supposed to watch it on Friday. I failed.
Well,
said I got it queued up and everything. This is what you said.
I did have it queued up, and I watched the first 20 minutes. And then this morning, I watched the next 20 minutes, and now I'm 5 minutes.
What happened on Saturday?
I was burned by that boy on Saturday. I was sad all day Saturday. All I did was smoke weed and just be sad and eat cheese fries.
Actually, the end of it is not that bad. It just sets it up for season 3. Hopefully they have it because.
Okay, so the last thing I saw, and you could spoil the last 5 minutes.
I was about to say I'm going to.
I decided that going in to today, but the last thing I saw was so I saw the whole like shebang with like them at the barn and like. The handler's dead. Oh my god. And then I saw them like kind of like going their separate ways a little bit. So Vanya went to her lesbian lover's like thing, her lesbian lover, and she was just like, come with me, and then lesbian lover was like, no, my son, and I was like, you're being so stupid, but whatever, just go be lesbian in 2019, but whatever. So Vanya was like, okay, bye. And then we cut to Allison has written a letter for Ray, and Allison is being like, of course we knew I'd get the last word, and I'm like, huh, that's some shit I would do. And then I had to pause it.
Wait a minute.
Series was so good. The fact that they showed the same exact thing that's happening now today with the race or like the race war back in the 1960s. What year was it? Took place 1964.
63, 64.
Yeah.
Like that. I just love how they brought that to light. And I don't know how Netflix and shows do that, but like they always are on topic about shit that's happening in the world. And like with that show, it showed me like, yeah, back in the day, they went through the same thing, but it was a lot worse. So I'm proud for all those things that those people did. But then Klaus, I love Klaus. He's my favorite character. I loved him in Misfits, but Klaus.
I just saw Misfits. It was so good.
You saw all 5 seasons or just season 1? Okay, it's 1 through 3 are amazing. Season 4 through 5, you know how every show gets. It's not.
Okay, yeah, cool. Season 1 and 2 were so good. I saw the pilot of season 3 when that one guy leaves, and I was just like, it's so weird now. It's so weird now.
Nathan, yeah.
But it's worth watching season 3.
Oh yeah, because you meet Rudy, and Rudy's power is cool. It's like if you like the show season 1 and 2, watch the whole thing, and it's just like a big variation of that world, and I loved it. But,
okay, then I will give it a shot.
Out of all the people on that show, who did you either relate with, or who was your best character for you?
On Misfits or Umbrella Academy?
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. Oh God. I fucking hate Vanya. She's so fucking annoying.
Now, is it the character Vanya or Ellen Page?
Ellen Page, definitely Ellen Page. I'm sorry, I can't stand Ellen Page's acting style. That is just
really.
I can't. In every movie she's ever been in. I think I'd like her the person actually fine. I think I'd get along, like if we met on a red carpet or something. I think like I'd like her fine. But her acting, it is so how it is, and I can't stand how it is at all ever. But then fucking but you know who I really love? I fucking loved Little Kid, number 5.
That's my fucking guy. I fucking love 5 so much. The best freaking actor in the bunch, hands down. He pulls off being an old man in a younger body so freaking well.
He's like, we're gonna have to kill her, and they were like, number 5, and I'm like, number 5.
The whole like first season with a mannequin thing, I was like, all right, like I love
Yeah.
the whole series. Like anything that's like that is just so good. Thank you, Gerard Butler, for doing that. Thank you, Danielle, for letting me know Gerard Butler did that.
Butler.
I like that. My collage. That's a cool logo. And he just left. So, Umbrella Academy season 3 is going to be really good. Do you want me to spoil it? Oh, he's still here. Cool. Do you want me to spoil it for you or no? Because basically, it's really quick and you'll see it, but it's.
Do it. It's my failure, and I should have done it. So I'm ready.
They get back to the timeline, but there's a really big change. Like, I don't want to spoil, but I hate spoilers, even though I like spoilers too.
Well, fuck that. I love spoiling things, so I will easily tell you what they'll happen.
Let them know.
So, after Vanya leaves the message, you're going to have to look and see, because everybody has like a little wrap-up.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to watch it to figure out the rest of the wrap-ups, basically. Right. And so after all the wrap-ups and they finally get together, the whole family gets back together, and they're like, all right, guys, it's time to go home, all that Gucci stuff. And so then they go back home. They go back to 2020, and they're in the house now. And while they're in the house, he says, they go to the next room. Their father is still alive, so he doesn't die in this timeline. And so Reginald is still alive, and they're like, Dad? And like Reginald's like,
who are y'all? What are y'all doing here? And then he was like, yo, and then another voice comes from the background. He's like, Dad, is there a problem? Who are these people? And then when they all turn around, it's Ben, who's alive now. So Ben's alive, and then on the second floor, it's like silhouettes of like 7 other people, and so they make up the Sparrow Academy.
Season 3, girl. It's gonna be good. But
wow.
Can't.
That's pretty good.
So
Now you gotta watch it.
So what I'm assuming is,
That's pretty good.
So what I'm assuming is Reginald was an asshole, and what he did was everybody who he had met, which is all of them, because you remember that episode where they all met at the restaurant, he met them and he wrote down their powers and who they were, and he decided, fuck that, I'm not recruiting them.
Let me see.
But he still recruited Ben because he never met Ben because Ben was dead.
Right. Wow.
It's so good. And that can.
So they form.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do shit like that. It's a good show, and you know it can continue to go. So I'm really excited for season 3. But you know we always got to wait until next year or another pandemic to watch it. Let's switch back to double standards. Have you been seeing all these videos of the protests in Portland, people getting arrested for similar crimes but getting different sentences and everything? Like
Lori Loughlin, remember the college admission scandal? It happened a few months back. Well, she just got sentenced to her sentencing, and she got 2 months.
2 months. Something similar, not similar. Lori Loughlin, great actress, but of course she fucked up. A TikTok I saw, a dad beats up a black kid at a soccer game for getting in a fight with his son. At a soccer game, he violently beat him up. A woman peacefully protesting.
Oh my God.
Yeah. A woman peacefully protesting gets arrested for peacefully protesting. So for the guy, he goes to jail. He does his court thing. He gets 60 days probation, and he can work that off on the weekend. The lady peacefully protesting gets one of her charges upgraded to a felony. So if that gets...
Now she can't vote.
Yeah, now she can't vote, and if she gets convicted, that's maybe a year, up to a year in jail for peacefully protesting. Yet a white man can be violent to a black kid and get less time. So
it shows who we value in this country, doesn't it?
America.
That's where definitely depending on what state it happened in. Mo, by the way, can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't even call that a double standard. I would call that a blatant attempt at making sure like somebody who is going to vote for the opposite party will not be able to vote. That's more voter suppression, that's a tactical attack basically for me. Like, what a bunch of assholes, man. I fucking hate Republicans when political Republicans are the fucking worst.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, there is a lot of data about colorism specifically in our justice system. So if you want to look, like, light-skinned, and I can send you data on this, Mel, for you to insert here, so to get the actual numbers correct. But basically, light-skinned and dark-skinned defendants, there have been studies done about black defendants, but light-skinned and dark-skinned, right? And light-skinned defendants get way lighter sentences. Dark-skinned defendants get way harsher sentences. Dark-skinned defendants are way more likely to be charged as guilty. They're way more likely to go to jail and have to serve the whole prison time, way less likely to get probation. Just everything is worse for dark-skinned people when it comes to our justice system.
The darker, the more evil is what they think for some reason.
Absolutely is the idea kind of behind the myth of colorism, right? And colorism is something that persists not only in our justice system, but in our society as well. So that's why you'll find Meg Thee Stallion's whole thing is going on right now. Everyone's saying, like, Mel, is that what you're going to say? You could say it.
Oh no, I was gonna go with the protest, but go.
Oh, okay. But I'll just say then it's one thing about Meg Thee Stallion. Like Meg Thee Stallion right now is like she was shot, right? She was shot, and everyone right now is still mad at her, being like she's the snitch. She should have done this. She should have done that. She should have done this. She should. Meanwhile, it's like I saw a tweet that I think I sent this to you, Mel, or maybe it was a TikTok that was like basically like, don't you think that if Meg Thee Stallion was 5 shades lighter right now,
No one
you
would.
think that she would be in this mess?
And with Megan Thee Stallion, that's a double standard there too. It's just about she didn't snitch. From everything I read and all the people that were talking about this, she didn't snitch. She didn't say anything to the cop when it happened. That was like, okay, I got shot. I know what's gonna happen if this nigga goes to jail. If he,
Not even that. If this policeman knows that this black man has a gun, this black man will die.
yes.
So I, black woman who is currently shot in pain, will not say anything, and I will protect this black man because his life is more important.
Yeah.
Like I saw a tweet that summed that up, and then they said like the pain of black women is something no one but black women will ever understand, and I cannot imagine.
Also, with the protests that are going on in Portland and like protests all around the world that are still going on, there was something recently where the Proud Old Boys, them racist,
Proud Boys,
Proud Boys, they decided to start rioting and actually riot. Or
they brought out a gun.
They brought out guns. They destroyed vehicles. Basically everything that Black Lives Matter can't do without getting arrested for, or not even try to do without getting arrested for. And they got to do all of it easily. And now,
when was that?
Huh?
Yesterday or the day before?
When was that?
It was very recently.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday or the day before. Because I saw it trending on Twitter this morning.
And then the double standard to me, and like what we're saying is double standard, but is it even double standards anymore if it's just blatant racism? But the double standard is Black Lives Matter has been peacefully protesting. Yes, there's been some people fucking shit up, but Proud Boys actively hurting people, rioting, pushing, aggravating the situation, yet they're not getting arrested, they're not getting in trouble, they're not getting pepper sprayed. And it's just, the world we live in is not one that everyone can enjoy because of so many double standards. I feel that we can change the world if we got rid of double standards one by one or as a whole, but we just got to be open.
Something I said before is that
continue.
Sorry. But something I said before is that like I think if we could change one thing, we should change hypocrisy. Because I think that would fix so many of the issues. I think so much of the Republican platform just comes down to the hypocrisy through and through. And I think changing Republicans would fix so many of the world's problems. Not that Democrats don't contribute. Oh my God, they're such a huge problem. But the problems that I have with Democrats are actually largely due to the similarities they have to the Republicans. And the hypocrisy is in them. I feel like if we got rid of the hypocrisy and just got everything kind of, as a gay person, but like if we got everything a little straighter, I think everything might actually fucking work out. It's not that we don't have the people or the resources to make Earth okay, to make it livable for everyone, to make it inhabitable, to make it happy, to make everyone be like livable here. It's not that we don't have it. It's plentiful. There's more than enough to go around. It's just that we are hypocrites and we allowed the wealthy to hoard it. We allowed capitalism to allow the wealthy to climb the ladder to this point now where we have such wealth inequality, levels that we've not seen since the days of the French Revolution. And we're at the point now where it's like, are we going to get the guillotines out?
And honestly, yeah, it's getting close. Like, French Revolution, the Holocaust, all that, it looks like it's starting. And it's like, if we don't get rid of the hypocrisy and the things that are leading up to those big events, we're going to be stuck in the past. And the history repeats itself if we don't change. My name is Mel, the First Time Lord. And I feel like we've had a great conversation today. I want to,
Remember Dwight's handle?
yeah, I'm going to be famous. Oh, is he not on here? Oh, I didn't see him disappear. But yeah, we had Dwight. I'm gonna be famous with DS. He'll say it better, and then I'll type it in so it's not fucked up. But Dwight was on the show, and he's always a great guest that comes on. If you want to join, come on, Lucy.
My name is Lucy Rydell. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Lucy Rydell.
This is Thick and Youthy.
Absolutely juicy.
We want to thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you like shows that talk about current events and things that people want to hear about but just never talk about. Come to our show, bitch. We're here for you. Take a smoke break with us. Talk, laugh, have fun. We're here to try to entertain you, and we want you to listen to what we have to say. Thank you for watching, and you have a great day.
You want to say bye to who's on our live? The one on our live?
Hey.
Bye, one person on my live. Oh, comedian Stan. Christian came on and said Dwight ugly as fuck right at the beginning of our live. That was great. That's great. I love that. I love that for us.
I'm going to stop